What's up, everyone? So this week I wanted to share with you an idea around planning for learning. But what I've been thinking about is, what are the components of an actual good plan and how do we execute on that? So the components that I've been thinking about include strategies, tactics, roadmap, and metrics. The strategies are, what are the things that you believe will help you get to those goals? What are the things, the big rocks that you have to implement in order to execute on getting to those goals? And then what are the things within those strategies, the actual tactics or the action items that you need to implement in order to achieve those strategies? The roadmap really helps us think about what are the stages that you have to go through in order to really understand what you should be looking for. So for example, if you have a strategy, you might have a roadmap that talks about discovery, design, implementation, debrief, or reflection. Those types of things really help you understand where you need to be and who needs to be in the room to have those conversations with you. The last thing you'll need are the metrics. And the metrics are, what are the data elements that you'll need on a regular basis to help predict that you will achieve those goals? The metrics are the weekly, the daily data points that you really need to be predictable in you achieving that goal and making sure that you're on the right path. This week, I was in Ohio all week and had an incredible time learning from some really cool districts all the way from Cincinnati to Cleveland and then Columbus. And then I headed over to Washington, D.C. for a convening that Arizona State University, Mary Lou Teachers College was hosting to think about like the future of school systems.
Tim, will you give what you notice at 8 o'clock, and then if you have the same reflection, would love for us to just pile up, because then it just helps us identify a trend that we're seeing across.
Sure. Thought that the check-in was really fun and welcoming. I liked how we started with, about being successful. So I think it created a very above the line, fun and exciting way to start the meeting.
This 8 o'clock?
I have two. So I was excited.
Yeah.
But I also felt a little anxious because it's unexpected as to what our morning would look like.
So we read and we journal every Friday together as an executive team to be learners, because we feel like you have to be a learner. Mm-hmm. You can't give what you don't have. And then we bring different things together, and then that reading influences what we call that a peak moment. Get your head up, up here.
Back to the Dan and Chip Heath.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we move down to what we call a campfire conversation.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which we wrestle through.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see us moving to strategy. So we wrestle through. We don't solve every
Mm-hmm.
problem.
I would say when I think about education, the number one most important thing for me is the experience of children. It has to be the focus. That we get caught up in testing sometimes and we forget about how important experience is. And I think the second most important thing is having healthy cultures in our schools where our teachers and our kids are thriving. I have just recently written a book on 5 models of lesson planning that will be coming out in June that will help teachers become very intentional about the kinds of experiences they give their kids.
So hello, I'm Brian Baker. I'm a middle school principal here at Buckeye Valley Local Schools in Central Ohio. And today we spent a few hours with the Ed Elements, and my identity was actually, I thought some of the samples that they provided were great from other school districts that I wanted to kind of steal and tweak a little bit to fit. I do a lot of teacher meetings, teacher-based team meetings, and so the identity was going to be to share student work, so we could put the focus back on students, and that kind of is a gateway into other conversations. My habits were to make sure that I allotted 10 minutes on the agenda at each teacher-based team meeting and had at least 2 teachers share out and prepare them to tell them to bring the work. And our practice would be to just commit to that every time. So some of the check-ins that we could do, kind of like we did today, get everybody out of their seats so that they're not on their computers and things like that, and have the pictures where people pick up a picture. I thought that was really cool.
All of these things that are up here, plus many more. 30 children in a room, one teacher, expected to know and be able to do everything to accommodate and differentiate for all of that. Children, when our children have been in those situations where that teacher was not necessarily the right teacher for everything, we build a whole lot of people around our children. We got
All right, it's that time to announce this week's winner of the Education Elements Blended Warriors bandana. And this week's winner is Susie Alka in Yuma, Arizona. I'm so excited you won this week, Susie. Thank you so much for signing up for the newsletter. I hope you find the newsletter to be helpful with the spark, the expand, and the practice, things that you could actually try each week. Please tell your friends to sign up. Thank you again. Like I always say, don't compare your insides with other people's outsides. Peace.